I'm Allison and this is Bookcase Banner. This is a channel where I try to read all the books on my shelf. I have currently been failing because I caught myself trapped in a romance fantasy series called ZODIAC Academy. I am reading the second one right now. I finished the second one in less than 24 hours. This book has over 500 pages. 533 pages, I think. It's by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. And right now I'm in full-on gremlin mode because I read this way too fast. I am so tired. I don't know why I do this to myself. I just got completely caught up in it. I'm so glad I kept on reading. From my last video, I think you could tell that I liked it. And then the video before that, I hated it. I am now a ZODIAC Academy fan. I don't know why. It's just a very easy read. I got a bit caught up in it. I liked this book a lot better than the last one. I just think it's better written. That definitely helped. I didn't have any what the heck moments in this one. But see, there's no tabs, and part of it is I read it way too fast to put any tabs down. I was completely devouring this book. I just tore through this book. A lot of the things I didn't like in the first book weren't in the second book, so that made reading this so much easier. For example, I always thought all those guys were jerks. And they soften up in this book. You get to see their point of view. Some of the chapters are written from their perspective. And it makes them just seem so much nicer and kinder. And there's a couple of things that it definitely seems a little forced. But for example, you get to see Max's view through the Song of the Siren. And what an interesting chapter. Like, they put their own spin on a siren's song. I don't think that's a real mythology thing. They did that. And it seemed very obvious as a way to make all of these characters whole and as a way to make them seem more friendly. But I don't mind. I like it. I also like the structure of this book a little bit more. You get led through it through this tarot card mystery. The fact that it picks up right from the last book into more action, it just skips all of that awkward stuff of setup, and that's tough for anybody to get through. So now I get it. I get the concept. I'm just riding through it. I love it. But a lot of this book was kind of set up for that one big scene at the dragon house, the Acrux house, the mansion. Hoo hoo hoo, some steamy stuff going on in there. I kept on wondering when that scene was going to end, and it never did. The timeline of that, it just I felt like that was half the book. There was definitely some moments that were interesting. You get to see the development between Darius and Tori, which is excellent. You get to see a final culmination of the romantic love between Orion and Darcy. Hopefully not final, but a peak in this book, which was so cute. And it really makes it seem so hopeless and terrible that it just ends like that. Part of what I like of these romantic situations is the after. It just doesn't cut out. Instead, it shows them pulling themselves together after something like that. And the girls handle it so well, you kind of envy them in a bit, where it's none of that was really awkward. Even if they say it's awkward, it's not awkward. And especially the guys kind of like them better for it. It's okay, I get it, you're a superwoman. I don't know if anyone else thought this, but were vampire sources not supposed to mingle so strongly, aka romantically? I thought that wasn't allowed. And yet we see two of that pairing in this book. I mean, I guess it makes it a little more exciting if it's not allowed, but does everyone just break those rules? There seems to be no rules in this world. I mean, things are shocking enough where I bet they could get away with it. Now that I'm through the second book, I appreciate how shocking and brutal it was made out to be in the first book, because things just kind of make sense now. But it's not perfect. It's just enough for me to accept. Also, the steamy scenes in this book step it up a notch from the last book. Before it was kind of flirtatious. Ooh, there was one good scene, but now you got full on, in the card room, and it's a lot. I mean, it's that's not the reason why I'm reading this book. But I thought it was really interesting that they felt like they had to escalate it into the second book, even though it doesn't mean as much. I think we're all waiting for Darius and Tori, make it happen. On the other hand, though, it's like, I don't want Darius and Tori to be the center point of it. I really liked Orion and Darcy. They're the ones that I'm shipping. I've shipped so hard. Like, Lance seems to have had a rough time of it, and we just want a happy ending for him. We just want him to be relaxed, not so mean anymore. We don't want anyone mean in these books. We want everyone to be a big old softie and to work together against an evil. That's how I feel. I did think it was amazing how we went from just school kind of bickering to a giant battle scene where you can definitely feel the bonding. Like, that's what I like the best in this book, is the bonding scenes. You have the bonding during detention, and then you have the bonding in the battle scene, which is very dramatic, and you can definitely tell something's going to happen. I mean, and bonding in the dragon party too. This really does just feel like one giant book where it's been set up that everyone hates each other and you want everyone to eventually bond. So why do I have to read 1,000 pages for that to happen? Like, you could have spared me. Just make it one book and it would have been so much faster and easier for me, but I guess you wouldn't have me in my gremlin phase if you didn't do this. Talking to you, Caroline and Suzanne. So let's talk unsolved threads. I've kind of accepted that none of these tarot cards mean anything. And even if I do feel like they mean something, Tori and Darcy are not going to make the connections fast enough for me to feel satisfied about it. So I kind of ignore that part of it. But what's really keeping me, I still want to figure out their order. Now they have like a new magic power, this like blue, red fire. Awesome. Makes them look like superheroes. But what are they going to do with it? Is it specifically for nymphs? I mean, that's still dope. But you got a lot of things going on still. Besides the love triangles, which I really don't know how that's going to be resolved. So you have Caleb. I mean, Caleb is not going to stand a chance. I was rooting for him, but as soon as they showed his perspective where he just seemed like another big doofus, you kind of have to let him go. And Darius seems a little bit more serious, and it would be so perfect. Oh, the twinning. And I mean that in the literature sense and in the actual sense. So you got the twins, Darcy and Tori, but you also have like this bonded nature, which kind of makes them twins, of Orion and Darius. It just makes sense. Twins plus twins. I mean, I love that. I thought that was really well done. We've got a dagger that needs to come out. This weird dagger that has a call for power. We also saw Orion carrying a dagger and hitting all these. I'm wondering, where did that come from? Is it the same type of dagger? Is it a worse dagger? Is it an evil dagger? What's going to happen? We'll see what happens. I am so looking forward to figuring out all of this Elysian lover stuff and how it's going to happen. I really hope it happens for Orion and Darcy. I mean, I like them way better than Tori and Darius. I just don't want Tori to get all the good stuff. She seems to have a little bit more spice, but let's not overlook Darcy. For some reason, I really like her. I said this before. I usually root for people like Tori, but in this book, for some reason, I feel a connection to Darcy, and I think she just seems like a smarter twin. She seems more powerful, I think, is really what's it. She just doesn't seem as aggressive, so she's not getting as much love. But I hope that changes, and I want to see what happens next. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. The next book I'll be talking about is the third book in ZODIAC Academy. I ordered it, and it's arriving on Thursday, so I'll get into that. I will also be talking to my book club about the first ZODIAC Academy tomorrow, and if they have better notes for me, I'm going to come back with those too, and we'll talk about it. All right, talk to you later. Bye.